Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. Today we are going to be going over my offensive and defensive settings that I use in competitive games on NBA 2K21 Myteam. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and just like around the community basically asking for what settings are the best, and I actually had this video idea recommended to me by a couple of different people because they wanted to see what settings I use in like competitive games. So I thought I'd make a video on that and let y'all know what settings I think are the best settings to use in 2K21. That being said, obviously, settings aren't going to do the work for you. So you still have to be able to play good defense, play good offense, create open shots, and like rotate on defense, stop the opposing team you're playing against, all that stuff. And obviously that goes without saying, like, settings will not automatically make you better and make it easier for you to win, but they will help if you know what you're doing and you're able to and you know like how to play the game and how to rotate and how to do things effectively. They will definitely help you to play better and to have a better chance of winning. So before we get into the video, get into the settings, all that stuff, I would like to ask that people could subscribe. We just hit 750 subscribers today, which is absolutely crazy considering that like a week and a half ago it was like 170. It's pretty absurd, and I really appreciate the support on the recent videos. So yeah, if y'all could subscribe, if you haven't, it would be much appreciated. Also like the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of the video once it's over, and yeah, let's hop right into it. So first thing that I will notice real quickly, my coach is Mike D'Antoni. He's an offensive coach. I just wanted to bring that up real quickly. Yeah, just because why not? This is my coach. He boosts like three-pointer, speed, dunk, ball handle, stuff like that. Doesn't really matter that much who your coach is, but that is the coach that I personally use and I think gives the best boosts. All right, so hopping into a domination game just so I can show you all the settings easily in like an offline mode. The first setting that I put is on-ball pressure on smother, because I feel like that prevents people, especially good players in like the competitive scene, from being able to get the burst off, because obviously in the competitive scene the speed boost is like the main dribble move that's used on current gen. So putting the on-ball pressure on smother typically does a pretty good job of like bumping the CPU or the on-ball, the point guard or whoever's handling the ball on the defense or on the opposing team's offense. So that's why I put that on smother. And then off-ball pressure I'll put it on tight, because if I put it on deny ball, they get back cut really easily, and if I put it on moderate, often the players will play too far off of the off-ball players on offense. And I feel like putting this setting on tight makes it easier for my players to both get contests on like catch and shoot jump shots and also prevent those back cuts. So I'll put that on tight. I'll put my on-ball screen and on-ball screen center on go over, because I like to have my on-ball defenders going over the screen just so that they're attempting to prevent the three from players trying to come off of screens and shoot threes. And then I will put my hedge on catch hedge, so that would like bring these center, basically trying to get the center to both play the three to a certain extent but prevent the roll man from getting behind him. I think catch hedge is the best setting for a hedge, personally, in my opinion. But then also the important thing to note is that I user screens most of the time with either my center or my point guard or both, or an off-ball defender. You always have to be using somebody on your defense effectively and switching the person that you're using on your defense effectively to cover up the mistakes that your CPU will make, because none of these settings will just magically make you be able to guard every single pick and roll or things like that, every screen. So you have to be able to play that defense yourself. The last defensive settings that I do, I put drive and screen help on no help, because I don't want my players coming from different spots across the court and helping and leaving the offensive players open. I want to either rotate the players myself, so that I am the one bringing help and covering up that help with another defensive rotation of my own. Otherwise, I don't want to be have my players basically helping from random spots and likely leaving other players open for threes. So those are my defensive settings. Again, going back over, I'll put on-ball pressure on smother, off-ball on tight, and then on-ball screen and on-ball screen center on go over, hedge on catch hedge to keep the center between the pick and roll and the three-pointer where you can kind of contest but also prevent them from getting too far behind them, and then screen help rules and drive help rules on help and no rotation. Then my offensive settings. So offensive settings are super simple. I will just go into play selection and I will select the two plays that I actually use, which is quick 5 out and ISO 5 out 4. I like ISO 5 out 4 because of the spacing that it gives me. Putting the power forward in the corner, especially I'll use this play often when I have Giannis playing at power forward. because Giannis will line up in the corner, and then I can bring the ball up with the point guard, and it gets the 5-out spacing. I can call like a pick and fade with the center. Giannis stays in the corner and can shoot the 3 because that's where he has hot zones from and is most effective as a shooter. And then quick 5-out is just another simple spacing play, bringing the ball up with a guard and getting 5-out spacing around the court where I can attack from the hash. So those are the 2 plays that I use. These plays are in the Bucks playbook, if anybody is wondering. That's how you would get to those plays, is by assigning the Bucks playbook before the game. And then the only other change that I'll make in my offensive settings is assigning the Hawks 2018 freelance to the freelance 1 spot, because that's the freelance that I use in game, and I'll show that in just a second. Then going to coaching settings. In an online game, this adaptive coaching engine will always say offensive defense. So in an online game, I will turn it off. For whatever reason, in an offline game, it's already off. But in an online game, it's on. So I will turn that off, because that will the adaptive coaching engine will like change your settings during the game. If it's left on, it occasionally puts your team in the zone, or will do things that you don't want your team doing, because basically you want to control everything your team's doing. You don't want the CPU coaching engine to like basically mess up the settings that you're doing. So I will turn that off so that it doesn't mess with any of the settings that I have assigned. And then the final thing I will do is I will turn help defense all the way off, for the same reason that I turned off the drive help and screen help earlier, is because I do not want help defense basically leaving other players open and messing up my rotations. Then I also turn off run plays frequency, because I don't want the CPU, just like the computer coach, running plays for me on offense, because that will hurt my spacing. I want to be able to just run my pick and rolls and my plays and get the proper spacing without having players moving around and doing things that I don't want them doing, running plays. And then the final thing I will do, and I think this is like a 3, but for other coaches it can be higher, I'll just turn down zone usage all the way so that my team doesn't randomly go into a zone. Because I don't want my team going into a zone. I only want to go into a zone if it's like beneficial for me and I personally put my team into a zone. I don't want my coach putting me in a zone for no reason, basically. So those are the settings overall that I will use, and I'm going to show y'all real quickly how I set up my settings in game as well, because there are a few adjustments that I make on both offense and defense as well. So let's win this to, okay, we lost it, never mind. The first thing I will do is I will go right on the D-pad, and then I will click LB to stay home, and then I will put rebounds on crash the glass. Just at left trigger to get to these menus, and then I'll go aggression, put it on play physical, and the final setting I will do is, and I'll show you all next possession, the final setting I will do. Offensively, the only setting that I do is I go right on the D-pad, click LB, and then click A to set my freelance as Hawks 2018. And the reason that I do that is because when I go into the quick play menu using LB, I can just click LB again, and it'll automatically give me a 5-out spacing that allows you to basically go to work and get myself an easy bucket. It'll give me that spacing around the court that I want, and that's why I use the Hawks 2018 freelance. Then the defensive setting, the final one that I will add is I will click right on the D-pad again, then go to wall up, because I feel like in transition I don't want to get blown by it. I don't want to give up showtime dunks. So those are basically the main settings that I use on defense. I'll recap. To recap, I put it on stay home, crash the glass, play physical, and then wall up are the 4 in-game settings that I use. And then on offense, again, I just set my freelance as Hawks 2018. You only have to do it once, but I just did it again so y'all can see. And then that also helps with my screen spacing as well, and the spacing that I get around the court where players aren't cutting and interfering with my pick and rolls or my play calling or anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. It's not really all that complicated the way that I run the way that I do my settings, anything like that. And obviously these settings are not perfect. They're not guaranteed to be the best. They're not the plays and settings that other people will do. But I wanted to share with you all the settings that I personally do and that work for me in competitive games, in the event that people are potentially looking for those and potentially could have use of those settings. So I hope this video did help y'all out, and if you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't again, and leave me a comment letting me know what you thought, and I will be back with another video very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.